In a distant galaxy, a powerful alien race known as the Zarnax ruled over many planets. Their technology was advanced, and they had conquered countless worlds. The Zarnax believed they were the greatest beings in the universe. They looked down on other species, especially humans. They thought humans were weak and foolish, unworthy of respect. One day, the Zarnax called a meeting with representatives from Earth. The humans were excited but nervous. They wanted to show that they were more than just a small planet in a big universe. The meeting was held on the Zarnak home planet, a beautiful world filled with strange plants and towering buildings made of shining metal. The Zarnax welcomed the humans with grand displays, showing off their technology and power. As the meeting began, the Zarnak leader, Commander Vrock, stood tall and proud. His skin shimmered in shades of blue and green, and his sharp features gave him an intimidating presence. He smiled at the human representatives, but his smile did not reach his cold eyes. "Welcome, Earthlings," he said, his voice echoing in the large chamber. "We are pleased to have you here, though we doubt you will add anything of value to our discussions." The humans exchanged uneasy glances. They knew the Zarnax were arrogant, but they hoped to prove them wrong. A brave human diplomat named Sarah took a deep breath and stood up. "We come from a planet with a rich history and a diverse culture. We have much to offer, and we are eager to share our knowledge," she said confidently. The Zarnax laughed. The sound was harsh and mocking. "Knowledge? What can you possibly teach us?" Another Zarnak named General Zorak scoffed. "Your people are still fighting over trivial matters. You are far from ready to join the greater galactic community." Sarah felt a wave of frustration wash over her. "We may have our problems, but we have also made great strides in technology, art, and science. We are capable of much more than you think," she insisted. The laughter grew louder, filling the room with an atmosphere of ridicule. Commander Vrock leaned forward, a sneer on his face. "Oh, dear Earthling, do you truly believe you are a threat to us? You are a young species still struggling to understand the universe. We have been around for thousands of years, mastering the art of war and diplomacy. You are but a child." Humiliated, Sarah felt her face flush with anger. "We are not children. We have survived wars, disasters, and challenges that would have broken lesser species. Underestimate us at your own peril," she warned. But the Zarnax were not listening. They continued to mock humans, throwing insults and jokes that cut deep. The atmosphere turned tense, and Sarah knew it was time to leave. "We will not be treated this way. This meeting is over," she declared, her voice steady despite her rising emotions. As Sarah and her fellow diplomats left the chamber, she felt a mix of anger and determination. They boarded their ship, a sleek vessel named the Endeavor. As the engines roared to life, she looked back at the Zarnak city. "They think they can mock us without consequence," she said to her team. "But they don't know what we are capable of." The humans returned to Earth, their spirits dampened but not broken. Sarah shared her experience with military leaders and scientists, urging them to prepare for the worst. "The Zarnax have shown us their true colors," she said. "They believe they can bully us, but we must show them that humans are stronger than they think." In the days that followed, humans rallied together. They shared stories of resilience and bravery, reminding each other of their strength. They began to plan and strategize, realizing that they had to be ready for whatever the Zarnax might throw at them next. As the sun set over Earth, the shadows of doubt began to lift, replaced by a growing sense of unity and purpose. The Zarnax had made a grave mistake. They had angered humans, and now they would learn the hard way that there are consequences to mocking those who refuse to back down. The Earth stood ready, not just to defend itself, but to show the galaxy the true spirit of humanity. Back on Earth, the mood was tense. The humans had just returned from their meeting with the Zarnax, and the humiliation weighed heavily on them. In a secure government building, military leaders and scientists gathered to discuss what had happened. They knew they had to take action, and they needed to come together to find a solution. Sarah, the diplomat who had faced the Zarnax, stood at the front of the room. She felt a strong sense of responsibility. "We must prepare for what comes next," she said, looking around at the faces of the people who represented Earth's strength and knowledge. "The Zarnax think they can bully us, but they do not understand our true power." A general named Marcus, known for his strategic mind, spoke up. "We may be seen as weak, but we have survived many challenges on our own planet. We need to use that experience." He glanced at the scientists. What hidden resources do we have that we can use against the Zarnax? One of the scientists, Dr. Chen, raised his hand. We have been developing advanced technologies in secret for years. Some of these projects could surprise the Zarnax. He took a deep breath, gathering his thoughts. For example, we have been working on a new energy shield that can protect our cities from attacks. We also have experimental weapons that harness energy in powerful ways. Excitement rippled through the room. The humans realized they had more than they thought. Sarah urged everyone to brainstorm ideas. We need to combine our strengths, she said. Our military expertise, scientific advancements, and human creativity can give us an edge. We must prepare a plan that will show the Zarnax we are not to be underestimated. The team spent days discussing strategies, poring over blueprints and designs. They worked late into the night, fueled by determination and the desire to prove their worth. With every idea shared, they felt a sense of hope. They were no longer just a group of individuals. They were a united force, ready to defend their home. As the weeks passed, the humans focused on training. They held simulations and drills, preparing for every possible scenario. The military taught soldiers how to use new technology while scientists refined the experimental weapons. They also worked on creating a network of communication, ensuring that everyone would be connected during a crisis. Meanwhile, the Zarnax continued to underestimate humanity. They believed their attacks would crush Earth's spirit. Little did they know that the humans were becoming stronger. Commander Vrock and General Zorak laughed as they discussed their plans for Earth. Soon we will show them the true meaning of power, Vrock said, his arrogance blinding him to the danger that was brewing. Back on Earth, Sarah met with the team again, excited to share the progress they had made. We have built our energy shield and the initial tests show it can withstand significant impacts, she announced. We're ready to show the Zarnax that we are not just a primitive species. We have the ability to fight back. The group cheered, filled with pride and determination. They felt like they had been given a second chance. But Sarah knew they needed more than just technology, they needed unity. Let's remind everyone on Earth why we fight, she said. We fight for our families, our friends, and our future. Together, we are stronger than any enemy. To spread this message, they organized a worldwide campaign. People from all walks of life came together, sharing stories of resilience and courage. Artists created powerful images, writers penned inspiring poems, and musicians composed uplifting songs. The message was clear. Humans were united and ready to stand up for themselves. As the days turned into weeks, the humans grew more confident. They had transformed their anger into strength, preparing for whatever the Zarnax might throw their way. The world buzzed with energy, and people believed in their ability to fight back. Little did the Zarnax know that their mocking laughter had sparked a fire within humanity. With every passing moment, humans were readying themselves for the fight of their lives, and the Zarnax would soon learn that the consequences of their arrogance would be severe. The stage was set for an epic confrontation, and humans were determined to show their hidden strength. The day had come. After weeks of preparation and unity, the humans felt ready to face the Zarnax. They had developed powerful new weapons and defensive shields, but they knew that their true strength lay in their determination and spirit. However, the Zarnax were unaware of this growing power, still confident in their superiority. In the heart of the Zarnak Empire, Commander Vrock stood on a high balcony looking out at the stars. He smiled, thinking about the easy victory that awaited them. Today, we will show the Earthlings what happens when they defy us, he said, his voice dripping with arrogance. They will crumble under our might. Back on Earth, the atmosphere was tense but electric with anticipation. The leaders gathered in a control room, monitoring the Zarnak fleet as it approached Earth. Sarah stood at the front, her heart racing. She felt the weight of her people on her shoulders, knowing that their lives depended on the decisions made in the coming hours. Commander, we have visual on the Zarnak ships, a technician announced. The screen flickered to life, showing a massive fleet of sleek, menacing vessels gliding through space. The Zarnax had come just as they had threatened. Prepare our defenses, Sarah shouted. The energy shields were activated, glowing brightly around major cities. They were ready to protect their people, but Sarah knew that the Zarnax would not hold back. As the Zarnak fleet descended, they began firing their weapons at key locations on Earth. Explosions lit up the sky and panic spread through cities. But the humans were ready. The energy shields absorbed the blasts, protecting the people within. Look, the shields are holding, a soldier shouted, filled with hope. The Zarnax were momentarily stunned, unable to understand why their attacks were not causing the expected destruction. In the midst of the chaos, humans fought back with everything they had. Military planes flew into the air, armed with the new experimental weapons they had developed. They took to the skies, launching counterattacks against the Zarnak ships. "Engage the enemy!" General Marcus commanded, his voice steady. The planes shot missiles infused with powerful energy, creating explosions that lit up the darkening sky. The humans fought bravely, showing the Zarnax that they were not as weak as they had thought. On the ground, civilians joined the fight in their own way. People volunteered to help using whatever they could find: fire hoses to put out fires, shovels to clear debris, and even makeshift weapons to defend their neighborhoods. There was a sense of unity, a bond that tied everyone together. Meanwhile, Commander Vrock watched in disbelief as his fleet began to take hits. "How is this possible?" he growled, his confidence shaken. "These Earthlings should be terrified. They cannot withstand our might." But the humans were not terrified. They were angry. They were fighting for their homes, their families, and their future. Sarah led the charge, coordinating attacks and relaying information from the front lines. She had become a symbol of hope for her people. "Keep fighting! We cannot let them take our planet!" Sarah urged over the communication system. Her voice echoed through the ranks, inspiring courage and strength. The battle raged on, the sky filled with smoke and fire. The Zarnak ships were relentless, but the humans were determined. With each explosion, their resolve only grew stronger. They fought not just for survival, but for respect. As night fell, the humans found new energy. They launched one final, coordinated attack on the Zarnak fleet, aiming to drive them away for good. The energy beams shot through the darkness, creating a dazzling display of light. "We can do this!" Marcus shouted, rallying his troops. "For Earth!" With that, the humans surged forward, their spirits unbroken. They were no longer the weak species the Zarnax had mocked. They were a force to be reckoned with. The Zarnax began to falter, their ships damaged and their confidence shaken. One by one, they retreated, leaving behind a battle they had thought would be easy. As dawn broke, the humans stood tall, victorious. They had faced their enemy and proven their strength. The Zarnax would remember this day, but more importantly, the humans had discovered their own power. They were ready for whatever came next, united and stronger than ever. The battle for Earth was far from over. As dawn broke, the Zarnax regrouped, their confidence shaken but not shattered. Commander Vrock was furious. "They have put up a fight, but we will not be defeated so easily," he declared to his officers. "We will show these humans the true power of the Zarnak Empire." On Earth, the humans celebrated their small victories. They had held off the Zarnax, but they knew the fight was far from over. Sarah, General Marcus, and the other leaders met in the command center, analyzing the situation. "We've managed to repel their first wave," Sarah said, her brow furrowed. "But we need to prepare for their next attack. They will come back stronger." General Marcus nodded. "We must be ready for anything. We've seen their tactics, and we need to adapt." He glanced at the screens displaying the battle. "They'll likely regroup and come at us with everything they have." As they strategized, soldiers on the front lines prepared for the fight ahead. The mood was tense, but there was a sense of determination in the air. The humans had tasted victory, and they were not going to back down. They had discovered their strength, and they would not let it go to waste. Just as they finished their plans, the Zarnak fleet appeared again on the horizon. This time they came with a larger force, more ships, and more weapons. "They're back!" a technician shouted. The control room erupted in activity as everyone scrambled to their stations. "Activate the shields!" Sarah ordered. The energy shields flickered to life, glowing brightly around the cities once more. "Get the fighters in the air! We need to show them we're not afraid!" As the Zarnak ships closed in, the humans launched their planes, flying high into the sky. The pilots, filled with adrenaline, prepared for battle. "Stay sharp, everyone," one pilot said over the radio. "We've got this." The Zarnax unleashed a barrage of missiles, but the humans were ready. The shields absorbed the hits, and the planes dodged and weaved through the chaos. "We can take them!" Marcus yelled, leading the charge. "For Earth!" The skies lit up with energy blasts and explosions. The battle raged on, each side fighting with everything they had. Zarnak ships fell from the sky as the humans fought back bravely, their newfound strength shining through. On the ground, civilians continued to help where they could. People worked together to put out fires, provide medical assistance, and evacuate those in danger. There was a sense of unity among the humans, a bond that made them stronger. They were not just defending their planet, they were defending each other. In the heart of the battle, Sarah coordinated the troops. "Keep pushing! We can't let them take back what we fought for!" She felt a surge of determination, knowing that her people were counting on her leadership. However, the Zarnaks were relentless. They adapted quickly, changing their tactics and launching a ground assault in addition to their air attacks. "They're sending troops down to the surface," an officer shouted. "We need to defend our cities." As Zarnak soldiers descended onto Earth, chaos erupted. The streets filled with the sounds of conflict. Humans fought bravely, but they were outnumbered on the ground. "We have to hold our ground," Marcus shouted, rallying his troops. "Protect the civilians! We can't let them take our homes!" The battle grew fiercer as Zarnak troops advanced, pushing into cities and fighting with ruthless efficiency. Humans fought back, using every weapon and strategy they had. But it was a hard fight. "We need backup!" a soldier cried, seeing more Zarnak forces approaching. Just when it seemed that the tide might turn against them, a new wave of human reinforcements arrived. Fresh soldiers joined the battle, and with them came new energy. "We're not done yet!" Sarah shouted, leading the charge. The humans surged forward, driving back the Zarnaks with renewed strength. As the battle raged on, it became clear that this fight would determine the fate of Earth. The humans had discovered their hidden strength, and they were prepared to protect their planet at all costs. With every fight, they proved that they were not just a weak species to be mocked, they were warriors. And as the sun began to set, casting a fiery glow across the battlefield, the humans knew they were ready to face whatever the Zarnaks threw at them next. Their determination burned brighter than ever, and they would not back down. Earth was worth fighting for, and they were ready to win. The battle for Earth had raged on for days, but finally, the tide began to turn. The Zarnaks, once so confident in their power, were starting to realize that the humans were not to be underestimated. With each passing hour, the humans fought harder, driven by a fierce determination to protect their home. In the heart of the conflict, Commander Vrock watched his forces crumble. His ships had suffered heavy losses, and his ground troops were struggling against the relentless human resistance. "How can this be?" he muttered, disbelief clouding his mind. "They should be cowering in fear, not fighting back!" Meanwhile, on the human side, the mood was electric. Sarah, General Marcus, and their team had coordinated a series of successful counterattacks. The humans had pushed the Zarnaks back, reclaiming lost territory and gaining confidence with every victory. "We can do this!" Sarah shouted, her voice full of fire. "We will defend our planet!" The Zarnaks, though, were not done yet. Vrock decided to change his strategy. "We will launch one final assault," he declared to his commanders. "We will show these humans the true meaning of power." They readied their forces for a desperate attack, hoping to catch the humans off guard. As the Zarnak ships moved in for the assault, the humans braced themselves. They had prepared their defenses and had a few surprises up their sleeves. The energy shields glimmered, and the fighter planes soared into the sky. The ground troops positioned themselves, ready to face whatever came next. As the Zarnaks descended, their ships unleashed a barrage of missiles. But the humans were ready. They launched their own weapons, creating a dazzling display of explosions and energy. The skies filled with the sounds of battle, echoing the fierce struggle between the two species. "Stay strong!" Marcus called out to his troops as they engaged the enemy. "We've come too far to back down now." The humans pushed forward with renewed energy, fighting not just for survival but for respect. In the chaos of battle, Sarah and her team made a bold decision. They would take the fight directly to Commander Vrock. If they could strike at the heart of the Zarnak command, they might force them to retreat for good. "We need to disrupt their leadership," Sarah commanded. "If we can reach their flagship, we can turn the tide." The team rallied together, executing their plan with precision. They navigated through the battlefield, dodging enemy fire and taking down Zarnak ships along the way. They fought their way to the Zarnak flagship, determined to confront Vrock. Inside the flagship, Vrock sensed the urgency in the air. "They're coming for us!" he growled, realizing the humans were targeting him. He gathered his remaining forces, preparing for the confrontation. "We will not back down. We will show them who is in charge." As Sarah and her team boarded the flagship, they found themselves face to face with Zarnak soldiers. A fierce fight broke out, but the humans were determined. With teamwork and courage, they pushed through, reaching Vrock's command chamber. When Vrock saw the humans approach, he was shocked. "You! How dare you invade my ship?" he shouted, his arrogance still evident but wavering. Sarah stepped forward, her voice steady. "We are not afraid of you anymore. You came to our planet thinking we were weak, but now you see the truth. We fight for our home and we will not stop." Vrock hesitated. He had never encountered such bravery before. The humans were not the timid beings he had expected. "You think you have won?" he replied, trying to regain his composure. "This is not over!" But deep down, he realized the truth. The humans had proven themselves in battle. They were no longer just a footnote in the galaxy. They had fought back fiercely, and Vrock could feel the shift in the balance of power. Outside the flagship, the battle continued. But as Vrock faced Sarah, something changed within him. "You have my respect," he admitted reluctantly. "You have fought with courage and skill. Perhaps we have misjudged you." With those words, a new understanding began to form. The humans had shown the Zarnax that they were not to be taken lightly. As the battle continued, both sides realized that respect could be earned through bravery and determination. As the sun began to set, casting a golden light over the battlefield, the fighting began to slow. The Zarnax, seeing the relentless spirit of the humans, decided to retreat. Commander Vrock ordered his forces to withdraw, recognizing that this was not a fight they could win. The humans cheered as they watched the Zarnax ships leave Earth's atmosphere. They had defended their home and earned the respect of their enemy. They stood together, united in victory and proud of what they had accomplished. Sarah and Marcus exchanged proud looks. "We did it," Marcus said, a smile spreading across his face. "We showed them who we are." As the humans celebrated their hard-won victory, they knew that the battle was over, but the journey was just beginning. They had proven themselves and would continue to grow stronger. The galaxy would remember this day, and the Zarnax would think twice before underestimating humanity again. The respect they had earned would pave the way for a new future.